Hey there, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to discuss one of the comments or questions I get asked about when it comes to selecting a camera, or people ask me about my choice to shoot mainly Fujifilm, is wouldn't you be better off with a full frame camera? So without any further ado, let's talk about, do I need or should I be getting a full frame camera?
Battalion 2, engines, 11, 27, 7, and 22, Investigator 1, Ladder 27, and Safety 1, House Fire, CO1 Maple Street, Army, Echo, Battalion 2, engines, 11, and 27.
Okay, so I hear this comment or thought a lot, and that full frame is better and you should probably be shooting full frame. Certainly if you want to be a professional, you should shoot full frame. And I really thought about how to approach this in a non-cultish, childish manner. I have noticed that full frame certainly seems to hold a little cachet. People like full frame cameras. I don't have a problem with that. If you like full frame, that's great. But if your question is, are full frame cameras really capturing better images than today's APC cameras? I'm going to tell you, you'd be pretty hard pressed to find the difference. Certainly there are advantages. Not denying that. But I think a lot of those advantages really stem from when we first switched over to digital imaging. People had a lot of film cameras, SLR type film cameras, and we're going to digital. The advantage of a full frame then was all the lenses worked, right? If you had a 35 millimeter film camera, you could use that on a full frame camera. When you start cropping the sensor, you introduce crop factor and things change and the lenses aren't as convenient. So when we first made the transition, if you had a large investment in your equipment, it made sense to go full frame. Also, when it first came about 10 years ago, there were certainly advantages to the larger sensor, the low light performance, things like that. But over the last 10 years, we've seen a change. And again, I'm shooting Fujifilm. Fuji makes a nice series of lenses for their APC cameras that are well designed for their APC cameras, so I get great pictures. So if the question is, do I want a full frame? I guess it'd be nice to have one just so I could say it, but do I need it for my photography? No, I don't. My APC Fujis do a great job. I'm getting the images I want, most of which I'm posting online, or if I print them, I'm not printing them, on a billboard. I'm not into the pixel peeping. I'm just looking for decent quality images. And I'll admit, clarity and sharpness is important to me, but I can get that, right? My current camera I'm using most of the time now is a Fujifilm X-T5. It's got a 40 megapixel sensor, so the resolution is really good. It accomplishes what I need. I've mentioned some of the advantages and disadvantages of APC versus full frame before, which are important for me, right? Not the least of which is size. An APC sensor is smaller, but that also means the camera's smaller and the lenses are smaller. And I'm walking around carrying my camera for a couple hours at a time. That's an advantage for me. I suppose if I was working in a studio doing commercial work, there might be an advantage today for a full frame sensor. But again, for what I'm doing, I don't think it's that all fired important. And really, this has just become one of those, it's a status. And, you go and you think, well, let me look and see what professionals are using. Or you go to YouTube and you get the common prevailing thought, and yeah, if you're a professional photographer, then you need a full frame camera. I like the smaller camera. I like the smaller price. I like the set of images that Fuji has designed and supplies for their cameras. They meet my needs really well. Wait, set of images? How about set of lenses? That's what I meant. If there ever comes a point where I want to get, I don't know, more detail, more resolution, larger format, Fuji makes a medium format camera, which is even bigger. And then I guess I can go ha-ha and I have a medium format and you only have a full format. But hopefully we're getting past that point where what format, what size sensor your camera has is something to brag about or something to hang your hat on. Hopefully it's about the quality of the images. And again, from my purposes, the image quality is just great on the APC sensors. So I'm going to continue using them. It's been my experience that most of the differences in image quality come from lenses, not the cameras. And I've said this before, really important that when you make your choice and you get into a line of cameras or a manufacturer ecosystem, I think what's important is the lenses. And like I said, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, when we were making the jump to digital, it made sense to have full frame because there was a lot of quality SLR lenses out there, and that made for quality digital imaging. Nowadays, we're seeing good quality APC lenses. They are accomplishing the job. They're getting it done. Like I said, there's not really a noticeable drop off in image quality anymore. So there you go. One side note to full frame. I find it kind of ironic that for digital photography, we talk about full frame because it's equivalent to a 35 millimeter. When we were shooting film, 35 millimeter was pretty small format film, and that's not what professionals used. So if you were a professional, even if you were an event or a wedding photographer, in the film days you were using 110, the 2-inch square film format, or if you were really good, you used the large format, which is 4x5. And then 35 millimeter, that was considered small format. It's kind of ironic that now it's the standard for digital imaging. So I'll sum it up. The short answer to do I need a full frame camera or do I wish I had a full frame camera? The answer is no. I don't need it. I don't think it would improve my photography a whole lot. I like to think that the equipment I'm using is high quality, my techniques are good, and I'm getting images that I like. I try not to get caught up in the, I'm a full frame camera owner versus, I'm just an APC owner. I'll put my images up against other photographers anytime. I don't mind that at all. I think they speak for themselves and their quality is quite good. So for all my folks out there considering purchasing a camera and trying to make that decision about whether they want to go spend the money to get a full frame or buy an inexpensive full frame versus maybe getting a better quality APC, I would ask you think long and hard. Fujifilm makes some great stuff. OM Systems used to be Olympus. Their stuff is really good. Micro Four Thirds. You're getting good quality images in a smaller package for less money. I find that a pretty solid argument, no matter how you go. So that'll wrap this up. That's my thought on full frame. I guess it'd be nice to have 20 years ago. I don't think you need it now. I'm sure there are people out there who are going to tell me how only professionals use full frame, and I'm not as good a photographer because I don't, but I'm happy with the product I'm producing. Most of the folks who view my photos like it, so I'm going to stick with it. Otherwise, hopefully you found the video interesting or entertaining. If you think I made some huge error or mistake, you're more than welcome to leave that thought in the comments and I'll address it as I can, or if it needs another video, we can do that. Otherwise, I'd ask that you like and subscribe, and we'll just see you again in the next video. Thanks. Bye.